Hi there, this is Fakir Yogi Yogi, beloved friends. I have seen in my life, I worked at different positions and places, but I have rarely found some great leaders in my life. But I had become a great leader because I understand unless there is a great leader with a vision, with the power of personality to motivate and inspire people, nothing great can be achieved in life. So the nation, the family, the organization, the institutions, if they are really flourishing, they are growing by leaps and bounds, it means it is having wonderful leaders. So I really become myself a great leader. But if you ask how you could become such a great leader, I became a great leader because I got induction from such great leaders like Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, and so many great people who have really achieved so much. They become the richest man, they become the wisest man. That's why I could learn from them. Leaders are really made by perseverance, persistence, with a motive and a burning desire, commitment to themselves to really glorify their life and glorify the places they are gracing. So now I would like to really suggest you to listen what Andrew Carnegie has ideas about great leaders. That will really motivate you, my friends. Thank you very much. Listen to Andrew Carnegie's ideas of
Characteristics of leadership, which the more successful leaders develop and apply. Will you give me a catalog of such traits as you believe to be essential for leadership?
From my own experience with men, I've observed that successful leaders in all walks of life exemplify one or more of 30 or more traits of leadership, and in some instances, they possess all of these traits. 1. The adoption of a definite major purpose and a definite plan for attaining it. 2. The choice of a motive adequate to inspire continuous action in pursuit of the object of one's major purpose. Nothing great is ever achieved without a definite motive. 3. A mastermind alliance through which to acquire the necessary power for noteworthy achievement. That which one man can accomplish by his own efforts is negligible, confined in the main to the acquisition of the bare necessities of life. Great achievement always is the result of coordination of minds working toward a definite end. 4. Self-reliance in proportion to the nature and scope of one's major purpose. No one can go very far without relying largely upon his own efforts, his own initiative, his own judgment. 5. Self-discipline sufficient to give one mastery over both the head and the heart. The man who cannot or will not control himself never can control others. There are no exceptions to this rule. This is so important that it should probably have headed the entire list of the essentials of leadership. 6. Persistence, based on a will to win. Most men are good starters, but poor finishers. The man who gives up at the first sign of opposition never goes very far in any undertaking. 7. A well-developed faculty of imagination. Able leaders must be eternally seeking new and better ways of doing things. They must be on the lookout for new ideas and new opportunities to attain the object of their labors. The man who trails along on the old path, doing things merely because others have done them, without looking for methods of improvements, never becomes a great leader. 8. The habit of making definite and prompt decisions at all times. The man who cannot or will not make up his own mind has little opportunity to induce others to follow him. 9. The habit of basing opinions on known facts instead of relying upon guesswork or hearsay evidence. Able leaders take nothing for granted without a sound reason. They make it their business to get at the facts before forming judgments, but they move promptly and definitely.
accurate thinking.
10. The capacity to generate enthusiasm at will and direct it to a definite end. Uncontrolled enthusiasm may be as detrimental as no enthusiasm. Moreover, enthusiasm is contagious, as is also lack of enthusiasm. Followers and subordinates take on the enthusiasm of their leader. 11. A keen sense of fairness and justice under all circumstances. The habit of playing favorites is destructive to leadership. Men respond best to those who deal with them justly, and especially when they are dealt with fairly by men in higher positions of authority. 12. Tolerance, an open mind, on all subjects at all times. The man with a closed mind does not inspire the confidence of his associates. Without confidence, great leadership is an impossibility. 13. The habit of going the extra mile. doing more than one is paid for, and doing it with a positive, agreeable mental attitude. This habit on the part of a leader inspires unselfishness on the part of his followers or subordinates. I have never known an able leader in business or industry who did not endeavor at all times to render more service than any man under his authority. 14. Tactfulness and a keen sense of diplomacy, both in spirit and in deed. In a free democracy such as ours, men do not take kindly to brusqueness in their relationships with others. 15. The habit of listening much and talking little. Most people talk too much and say too little. The leader who knows his business knows the value of hearing other men's views. Perhaps we are equipped with 2 ears, 2 eyes, and only 1 tongue, that we may hear and see twice as much as we speak. 16. An observing nature. The habit of noting small details. All business is a composite of details. The man who does not become familiar with all the details of the work for which he and his subordinates are responsible will not be a successful leader. Moreover, a knowledge of small details is essential for promotion. 17. Determination. Recognition of the fact that temporary defeat need not be accepted as permanent failure. All men occasionally meet with defeat in one form or another. The successful leader learns from defeat, but he never uses it as an excuse for not trying again. The ability to accept and carry responsibilities is among the more profitable of accomplishments. It is the major need of all industry and business. It pays higher dividends when one assumes responsibility without being required to do so. 18. The capacity to stand criticism without resentment. The man who flares up with resentment when his work is criticized will never become a successful leader. Real leaders can take it, and they make it their business to do so. Bigness overlooks the smallness of criticism and carries on. 19. Temperance in eating, drinking, and all social habits. The man who has no control over his appetites will have very little control over other people. 20. Loyalty to all to whom loyalty is due. Loyalty begins with loyalty to oneself. It extends to one's associates in business. Disloyalty breeds contempt. No one can succeed who bites the hand that feeds him. 21. Frankness with those who have a right to it. Subterfuge which misleads is a poor crutch to lean upon, and is one that able leaders do not use. 22. Familiarity with the 9 basic motives which actuate men. Already discussed in Lesson 2, these motives are relisted here for review. Emotion of love, emotion of sex, desire for financial gain, desire for self-preservation, desire for freedom of body and mind, desire for self-expression, desire for perpetuation of life after death, emotion of anger, and emotion of fear. The man who does not understand the natural motives to which men respond will not be a successful leader. 23. Sufficient attractiveness of personality to induce voluntary cooperation from others. See the list of the factors of attractive personality in Lesson 3. Sound leadership is based upon effective salesmanship, the ability to be sympathetic and to make oneself pleasing to others. 24. The capacity to concentrate full attention on one subject at a time. The jack of all trades is seldom good at any. Concentrated effort gives one power that can be attained in no other way. 25. The habit of learning from mistakes, one's own and the mistakes of others. 26. Willingness to accept the full responsibility of the mistakes of one's subordinates without trying to pass the buck. Nothing destroys one's capacity of leadership quicker than the habit of shifting responsibilities to others. 27. The habit of adequately recognizing the merits of others, especially when they have done exceptionally good work. Men will often work harder for friendly recognition of their merits than they will for money alone. The successful leader goes out of his way to give credit to his subordinates. A pat on the back denotes confidence. 28. The habit of applying the Golden Rule principle in all human relationships. The Sermon on the Mount remains a classic for all time as a sound rule of human relationship. It inspires cooperation that can be had in no other way. 29. A positive mental attitude at all times. No one likes a grouchy, skeptical person who seems to be at outs with the world in general. Such a man will never become an able leader. 30. The habit of assuming full responsibility for each and every task one undertakes, regardless of who actually does the work. Perhaps this quality of leadership should have headed the entire list, and would have if the qualities of successful leadership had been listed in the order of their importance. 31. A keen sense of values. The ability to evaluate in the light of sound judgment without being guided by emotional factors. The habit of putting first things first. All these qualities of leadership are capable of development and application by any person of average intelligence.
There must be certain definite...
Hi there, just you have heard the thoughts of Andrew Carnegie from one of my best friend from America who has read these beautiful traits suggested by Andrew Carnegie. In my personal life, I worked long time for NMDC. Unfortunately, I did not find all blame gamers, all evils and devils. But fortunately, at the fag end of my career, when I have joined GVK MRI and GVK hospitals in Kompally, Medchal, Telangana state of India, I have found remarkable leadership qualities here. The founding father of GVK Group of Industries, Manavratna Pasu Dr. G.V. Krishna Reddy, is one of the greatest leaders who surpasses all the 31 traits we have seen here. He is embodiment and he is a personified greatest leader born on earth with divine prowess, power, stimulating the intelligence of his employee and motivating them to really become very useful and productive to the organizations. Followed by Dr. Ramna Rao, the director of EMLC, GVK MRI, another great leader who also possesses most of these wonderful qualities. And the director for this GVK hospital, GVK EMRI, Dr. Krishnam Raju, another profound. The moment you meet these people, you get stimulants, motivation to really give everything, blood, toil, tears and sweat to see the organization is successful. In my previous company also, when I worked for Cosmo Ferrites, I really met one of the greatest leader, Mr. S.S. Moni. Otherwise, you find only cattles. In this world broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, the bloody fools, they are most of the time cattles. They are useless. They blame, they discourage, they backbite, they just blame for everything, and nothing can be achieved if you really criticize your subordinates most of the time. NMDC topped the list of such idiotic organization which is very rich, but the people are so bad. Because they are just ordinary people, but with some degrees, they have risen to highest position, but they never learned how to be a leader. I have learned, my dear friends. And I have tried that the people of NMDC should learn some attributes of leadership, but it has to come from self, it has to come from within. They lack this. Viewers, I request you very sincerely, try to be a great leader for yourself, a great leader for your family, for the nation and for the world at large, because the leaders are very few and far between. I remember some leaders like Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Bezos. They are the real leaders who are serving Elon Musk. Thank you very much, viewers.